Just as the British monarchy appeared to settle into a fragile calm, a quiet decision inside Buckingham Palace has suddenly changed the royal conversation. In a move few expected, King Charles has reportedly approved a new royal recognition for Zara Tindall, a moment that insiders say reflects a much deeper shift unfolding within the House of Windsor. What made the decision surrounding Zara Tindall so striking was not simply the title itself, but the quiet chain of events that unfolded inside palace walls in the weeks leading up to it. According to multiple royal correspondents in London, the first signs that something unusual was happening appeared in late February, during what was expected to be a routine planning meeting at Buckingham Palace. Senior household staff had gathered to review the calendar for several spring engagements, including diplomatic visits, garden receptions, and the upcoming Commonwealth events. Normally, these meetings pass without much attention. But this one reportedly ended very differently. One palace aide later described the atmosphere as unusually tense, particularly when the conversation shifted toward the future roles of extended members of the royal family. Over the past 2 years, the monarchy has quietly been undergoing a careful reshaping. King Charles has made it clear that he prefers a smaller, more focused working royal team, centered around the Prince and Princess of Wales and a handful of trusted senior figures. But that strategy has also created an unexpected problem. Several public events now attract enormous global attention, and palace officials have quietly acknowledged that the current roster of senior royals sometimes struggles to cover the growing number of appearances expected of the crown. Behind closed doors, advisors have been discussing how to reinforce the royal presence without expanding the official working royal list too dramatically. And that is where Zara Tindall unexpectedly entered the conversation. For decades, Zara has existed in a unique position within the royal family. As the daughter of Princess and the granddaughter of the late Queen Elizabeth II, she has always remained close to the monarchy, yet she has lived largely outside the formal structure of royal titles and duties. Unlike many other members of the extended family, she built her own career, becoming an Olympic medalist and a respected figure in British sport. Yet what makes Zara particularly valuable to the monarchy today is something far less discussed publicly: trust. Within royal circles, Zara and her husband Mike Tindall are widely regarded as two of the most grounded and dependable figures connected to the family. They maintain a strong relationship with Prince William and Catherine, and insiders often describe them as part of the informal inner circle that quietly supports the future of the crown. So when the discussion about strengthening the royal team began circulating inside Buckingham Palace, several advisors reportedly raised Zara's name almost immediately. The proposal itself was simple but potentially historic. Instead of expanding the monarchy through distant relatives or controversial figures, the idea was to recognize someone who already held enormous public goodwill, someone respected by both the British public and the younger generation of royal watchers. However, granting a royal title is never a casual decision. It requires not only the approval of the monarch but also careful consideration of constitutional tradition, public perception, and the delicate balance inside the royal family itself. Any change to titles can instantly trigger debates about hierarchy, privilege, and the future structure of the monarchy. For several days, the proposal reportedly remained confined to a very small circle of palace advisors. Then, according to insiders, the matter was quietly placed before King Charles himself. What happened next is what has now captured the attention of royal observers around the world. Because when the king reviewed the proposal, he did not dismiss it. Instead, he reportedly asked a question that immediately changed the tone of the conversation inside the room. "If the crown needs strength," Charles said, according to one palace source, "should we not recognize those who already carry it with dignity?" If King Charles's question changed the tone of the meeting, the response from his closest advisors changed the direction of the entire discussion. Because the moment Zara Tindall's name was seriously placed on the table, the room reportedly fell into a long and careful silence. Titles within the royal family are not merely ceremonial labels. They carry centuries of constitutional weight. Every title signals rank, influence, and proximity to the throne. Changing that balance, even slightly, can reshape how the public sees the monarchy. And everyone inside that room understood the implications. Zara, after all, had spent her entire life outside the traditional title structure. When she was born in 1981, Princess and her then-husband Captain Mark Phillips made a very deliberate decision. They declined an offer from Queen Elizabeth II to grant their children royal titles, and believed that growing up without formal titles would allow Zara and her brother Peter Phillips to live more normal lives, free from the constant pressure that comes with official royal roles. For decades, that decision defined Zara's place within the royal world. She attended family events, supported charitable causes, and remained deeply connected to the Windsors, but she was never expected to represent the crown in the same formal way as working royals. And yet, in recent years, something subtle began to shift. Zara's presence alongside Prince William and Catherine at major royal events did not go unnoticed. Whether it was the Platinum Jubilee, national commemorations, or major sporting ceremonies, the public response to Zara was consistently warm. Royal commentators began pointing out an unusual pattern. Whenever Zara appeared at public events, the crowds reacted with the same kind of enthusiasm usually reserved for the most senior members of the family. Inside palace offices, those reactions were quietly recorded and studied. Because public sentiment matters enormously to the monarchy. The crown survives not just through tradition, but through trust. And in the delicate period following Queen Elizabeth II's passing, maintaining that trust has become one of King Charles's most urgent priorities. According to palace sources, several advisors began presenting data to the king showing how figures like Zara, independent, accomplished, and widely respected, could help strengthen the monarchy's connection with the public. But there was also another layer to the discussion. Behind the scenes, the royal family has been navigating years of turbulence. Controversies, departures, and intense media scrutiny that have forced the institution to rethink how it presents itself to the world. In that environment, reliability has become one of the monarchy's most valuable currencies. And very few people in the extended royal circle carry the reputation for steadiness that Zara Tindall does. She has never sought royal privileges. She has never demanded public attention. And perhaps most importantly, she has always remained fiercely loyal to the family. That combination has earned her quiet respect inside palace walls. During the discussion, one advisor reportedly made a simple observation that caught the king's attention. If the monarchy is entering a new chapter, the advisor said, the public will look not only to titles, but to character. Those words reportedly lingered in the room. Because the question was no longer simply about Zara receiving a title. The deeper question had become something far more significant for the future of the monarchy. If the crown wished to demonstrate a modern form of leadership, one built not only on birthright, but on trust and service, then recognizing figures like Zara Tindall could send a powerful signal. Still, the decision would not be simple. Granting such recognition would inevitably raise another delicate issue. If Zara were to receive a royal title, it would mark the first major title adjustment within the extended royal family since King Charles took the throne. And that meant one thing. The decision would not remain private for long. The moment the possibility of Zara Tindall receiving a royal title moved beyond quiet discussion, the situation inside Buckingham Palace reportedly became far more delicate. Because decisions about royal titles are never made in isolation. Every adjustment within the House of Windsor sends a signal, not only to the public, but to members of the royal family themselves. And that is where the situation grew complicated. According to royal correspondents familiar with palace protocol, King Charles asked his advisors to conduct a careful review of precedent. The question he wanted answered was simple but significant. Under what circumstances had members of the extended royal family been elevated with new titles in the modern era? The research quickly revealed an interesting pattern. Historically, royal titles have most often been granted at moments when the monarchy sought to reinforce stability or reward exceptional loyalty. These moments were rarely dramatic announcements. Instead, they were carefully timed gestures designed to strengthen the institution quietly but decisively. That context placed Zara Tindall's situation in a unique position. Unlike many royal relatives, Zara already possessed something incredibly valuable in the modern media environment: public credibility. Her achievements as an Olympic medalist had earned her national respect long before any discussion of titles ever began. But beyond sport, Zara and her husband Mike Tindall had built reputations as approachable, grounded members of the royal circle. They attended family events, supported charities, and maintained strong personal relationships with both Prince William and Princess Catherine. Inside palace walls, those relationships mattered. Because as the monarchy transitions into what many observers call the William era, the king's advisors are increasingly focused on building a trusted support network around the future king and queen. And few figures in the extended royal family are as closely aligned with William and Catherine as Zara. Several palace insiders reportedly pointed out that the Prince and Princess of Wales have always maintained a particularly warm relationship with the Tindalls. The families often appear together at sporting events and private gatherings, projecting a sense of unity that resonates strongly with the public. For King Charles, that unity may have played an important role in the conversation. The monarch has spent the early years of his reign trying to balance two priorities: modernizing the monarchy while also preserving its traditions. It is a delicate task. Move too quickly, and critics accuse the crown of abandoning its heritage. Move too slowly, and the institution risks appearing outdated. Recognizing Zara Tindall could offer a rare opportunity to achieve both. On one hand, it would acknowledge someone whose life reflects modern British achievement rather than purely aristocratic privilege. On the other hand, it would strengthen the royal structure around the future king without dramatically expanding the official working royal roster. Still, the proposal raised a final question that no one in the room could ignore. How would the public react? Royal titles can inspire admiration, but they can also trigger intense debate, especially in an era when the monarchy's role is constantly scrutinized. So before any final decision could be made, the palace reportedly conducted quiet polling through trusted advisors and media analysts. The goal was to measure public reaction to the idea of Zara Tindall receiving greater royal recognition. The results, according to sources familiar with the discussions, surprised even experienced royal watchers. Support for Zara was not merely positive. It was overwhelmingly strong. And that unexpected wave of goodwill reportedly convinced King Charles that the moment for a decision had finally arrived. Once the public reaction became clear, the conversation inside Buckingham Palace reportedly shifted from whether the decision should happen to how it should be handled. Because in royal protocol, the way a decision is introduced can matter just as much as the decision itself. King Charles has spent the early years of his reign trying to stabilize the monarchy after a period of intense public scrutiny. Every announcement, every ceremony, and every title carries symbolic weight. The crown is not simply a family, it is an institution watched by millions around the world. So the king's advisors began working through one final concern. If Zara Tindall were to receive a princess title or similar royal recognition, it would inevitably raise questions about the broader structure of the royal family. Why Zara? Why now? And what message would the decision send about the future direction of the monarchy? According to royal observers in London, the answer lies in the quiet strategy that has been shaping the palace since the final years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign. That strategy centers around a trusted inner circle. Unlike earlier generations of the monarchy, which included a wide network of titled relatives, the modern royal family is gradually concentrating influence among a smaller group of dependable figures. At the center of that circle are, of course, Prince William and Princess Catherine. But surrounding them is a group of relatives who are deeply trusted by the family yet remain largely free from controversy. And in that circle, Zara Tindall holds a particularly unique place. Over the years, Zara has developed a strong personal bond with William and Catherine. Their families are frequently seen together at sporting events, charity gatherings, and private celebrations. Mike Tindall's relaxed personality and Zara's straightforward approach to life have made them widely popular both within royal circles and among the public. For many palace insiders, that popularity is not accidental. It represents something the monarchy increasingly values: authenticity. Unlike traditional royal figures who grew up surrounded by strict protocol, Zara built her identity through sport, competition, and personal achievement. Her Olympic silver medal in equestrian competition brought pride to Britain long before any conversation about royal titles ever emerged. And that history has shaped how the public sees her. She is royal by birth, but relatable by experience. For King Charles, recognizing someone like Zara could serve a broader purpose. It would demonstrate that the monarchy is willing to celebrate merit and loyalty, not simply hierarchy. At the same time, it would reinforce the supportive network forming around the future reign of Prince William. Royal historians note that monarchs throughout history have often strengthened their legacy by elevating figures who help stabilize the next generation of leadership. By bringing trusted relatives closer to the center of the royal structure, the crown ensures continuity during times of transition. In that sense, the decision regarding Zara may represent more than a single title. It could signal the quiet shaping of the next era of the monarchy. Yet one final step remained before the announcement could move forward. Within royal tradition, decisions involving titles are rarely made without the knowledge of the immediate family most affected. And because Zara's parents had originally declined titles for their children decades earlier, one conversation became especially important. Before anything could be finalized, King Charles reportedly wanted to speak privately with Princess Anne. And those who know the Princess Royal understand something very well. If there is one person in the royal family whose opinion the king respects without hesitation, it is his sister. When the discussion finally reached Princess Anne, the atmosphere surrounding the decision reportedly changed once again. Because if there is one figure inside the royal family known for absolute clarity, it is the Princess Royal, and has spent more than 5 decades quietly carrying out royal duty with a reputation for discipline, honesty, and an almost unwavering commitment to the institution of the crown. She rarely seeks attention, rarely engages in royal drama, and rarely offers opinions unless they are directly asked for. But when King Charles requested a private conversation about Zara, those close to the palace say the response was thoughtful and deeply reflective of Anne's lifelong philosophy about royal titles. Decades earlier, Anne and her first husband had made a conscious choice. When Queen Elizabeth II offered royal titles for their children, Anne declined. She believed that growing up outside the formal royal structure would give Zara and her brother Peter the freedom to build their own lives without the intense expectations attached to titles. For many years, that decision proved correct. Zara built a career through sport, earning Olympic recognition on her own merit. She created a public identity separate from palace walls, one built on competition, resilience, and national pride. But times change, and so do the needs of the monarchy. During the private discussion, Anne reportedly reminded the king of something simple but important. Zara had never asked for royal privilege, and she had never used her family position for personal advantage. Everything she achieved had been earned through dedication and discipline. In other words, the respect Zara receives from the public was never manufactured by titles. It was built naturally. That fact may have helped shape the king's final perspective. Because what King Charles appears to recognize is that the modern monarchy must adapt carefully to remain relevant. Public trust is no longer built solely on tradition or ceremony. It grows through authenticity, through figures who represent stability, service, and a connection to ordinary life. Zara Tindall embodies that balance. She represents the royal family's heritage through her lineage, yet she also represents modern Britain through her achievements and personality. For many observers, that combination makes her one of the most quietly admired figures connected to the House of Windsor. And that is why royal watchers now believe King Charles's decision carries deeper meaning than a single title announcement. It reflects a monarchy that is gradually reshaping itself, strengthening the circle around the future reign of Prince William and Catherine while recognizing individuals whose loyalty and character have already proven invaluable. In that evolving royal landscape, Zara Tindall's role may become more visible than ever before. Not because she sought a title, but because the crown may finally be choosing to recognize the quiet strength she has always carried. And as the next chapter of the monarchy slowly unfolds, one thing is becoming increasingly clear to royal observers around the world. The future of the House of Windsor may not only depend on tradition. It may depend on the trusted figures standing just beside the throne. If you enjoyed this royal story and want to follow every hidden shift happening inside the palace, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. And tell us in the comments, do you think Zara Tindall deserves to receive a royal title? The next chapter of this story may be closer than anyone expects.